Beneath the waves lies the true currency of global power. Forget borders and armies for a moment. The future of geopolitical dominance isn't just on land. It's at sea. From control of underwater internet cables to dominance over energy-rich seabeds and choke points that keep global trade flowing, the oceans are the world's most contested and valuable arenas. Today, we set sail across the top 5 most valuable oceans, and why the race to control them could decide who leads, who follows, and who falls in the next century. 1. The South China Sea, Asia's powder keg. This is no ordinary body of water. The South China Sea, although technically a marginal sea of the Pacific, covers over 3.5 million square kilometers and plays a role far beyond its size. Why is it so important? $3.4 trillion in annual trade flows through here, almost a third of global shipping. It's estimated to contain 11 billion barrels of oil and 190 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. The fisheries are vital to over 3.5 million people who rely on them for food and livelihoods. But here's the catch: several nations claim overlapping territories: China, Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan. The most controversial of these is China's 9-dash line, which cuts through almost the entire sea. To enforce this claim, China has built artificial islands and military outposts, installed radar systems, missile platforms, and runways, conducted regular naval drills, provoking confrontations with the US, Japan, and Australia. Why it matters? Control of this sea means control of East Asia's energy supplies, trade routes, and military reach. The South China Sea is a microcosm of 21st century conflict: trade, territory, and tanks, without a single shot fired, yet. Let us know in the comments, who do you think will ultimately control the South China Sea? 2. The Arctic Ocean, the frozen frontier melting into conflict. Once considered untouchable due to its icy isolation, the Arctic Ocean is now a geopolitical hotspot. Thanks to climate change, sea ice is vanishing, and with it, old assumptions. Why the sudden rush north? The northern sea route can cut shipping time between Europe and Asia by 40% compared to the Suez Canal. The region may hold 13% of the world's undiscovered oil and 30% of its natural gas. New fisheries and rare earth minerals lie beneath the thawing surface. Russia is leading the Arctic charge, with reopened Soviet-era military bases. A fleet of 40-plus icebreakers, more than any other country. Claims extending through the Lomonosov Ridge, reaching close to the North Pole. Meanwhile, NATO allies like the US and Canada are stepping up their Arctic strategies, while China, though not an Arctic state, calls itself a near-Arctic power, and is investing in polar research and Arctic shipping. Why it matters? Whoever dominates the Arctic gains control of energy reserves, strategic trade corridors, and a major military advantage. The Cold War may be over, but a new one is quietly brewing in the cold. 3. The Indian Ocean, the empire beneath the equator. This is where 3 continents meet: Africa, Asia, and Oceania, making the Indian Ocean one of the most crucial maritime hubs on Earth. It's the world's 3rd largest ocean, but in terms of strategic value, it may be first. Key facts: over 80% of the world's seaborne oil trade passes through it. It hosts 3 of the world's most critical choke points: the Strait of Hormuz, Bab el-Mandeb, and Strait of Malacca. It touches some of the fastest growing and most politically unstable regions on Earth. China is executing its string of pearls strategy, developing ports in Pakistan, Sri Lanka, the Maldives, and East Africa, which critics say could be dual-use military bases. It's part of the broader Belt and Road Initiative, cementing China's presence across the ocean. India, viewing this as strategic encirclement, is investing in naval bases in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Partnerships with countries like Japan, Australia, and France to strengthen maritime security. Why it matters. The Indian Ocean is Asia's naval chessboard, where energy routes, trade, and military power all collide. Whoever controls this ocean can project power across half the planet. 4. The Atlantic Ocean, the bridge between superpowers. Historically, the Atlantic Ocean was the corridor of colonialism, transatlantic slavery, and World War supply chains. Today, it links North America and Europe, still two of the most powerful economic and military blocs on Earth. But it's not just about trade anymore. Key reasons it matters: 95% of international internet traffic travels via undersea cables, many of them across the Atlantic. It remains the backbone of NATO, where the US and European forces operate in coordination. It holds some of the richest deep-sea mining prospects and fish stocks in the world. Russia has ramped up submarine activity in the region, sparking fears of sabotage of undersea cables, which could cripple global communications. Cyber warfare through maritime routes, targeting infrastructure silently and invisibly. Why it matters. The Atlantic Ocean is no longer just a symbol of old-world alliances, it's a battleground for information warfare, digital infrastructure, and Western unity. Whoever keeps the Atlantic secure keeps the Internet, and democracy, functioning. 5. The Pacific Ocean, the king of oceans. Finally, the Pacific Ocean. Covering 63 million square miles, it's bigger than all landmasses on Earth combined. It connects the world's two largest economies, and its waves carry more than half of the world's container traffic. This is the primary theater of great power competition in the 21st century. Why it's critical. Home to the first and second island chains, crucial to US and Chinese naval strategies. Host to disputed hotspots like Taiwan, the Spratly Islands, and Okinawa. Dotted with US military bases, Guam, Hawaii, Japan, South Korea, and the Philippines. Increasing presence of China's PLA Navy, now the world's largest by number of vessels. This is where the battle over semiconductors, rare earths, trade, and ideology comes to a head. Why it matters. If the Pacific becomes dominated by one power, they could control global trade, military reach, and economic rules. It's not just vast, it's the chessboard of empires. From Hawaii to Taiwan, this ocean will likely decide the fate of the 21st century. Oceans have always connected civilizations. But in our time, they are also borders between empires, pipelines of power, and battlegrounds of influence. The South China Sea is about territory and tension. The Arctic is about climate and competition. The Indian Ocean is about energy and empire. The Atlantic is about data and dominance. And the Pacific? It's about everything. So the question is, which ocean do you believe will shape the next century the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this deep dive fascinating, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a wave from Geobrief, your source for geopolitics made clear.